This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 2056, The 4 Levels of Personal Productivity by Pullein of Pullein.com. And I'm Justin Malik, the guy who's been reading articles and book excerpts to you every day, including holidays, covering personal development or self-help, happiness, how to live a better life, and a lot more. To get new episodes for free every day, make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button in pretty much any podcast app, or wherever you listen to your audio. That's a great, nice, free way to show your support. And today I'm featuring a new author for this show. Carl has been featured on Optimal Startup Daily, but this is the first time I'm sharing his work here. So with that, let's get right to it and start optimizing your life. The 4 Levels of Personal Productivity by Pullein of Pullein.com. The fascinating thing about being obsessed with time management and productivity for 30 plus years is recognizing at what level a person is when it comes to their personal productivity. Level 0. The first level is no level at all. It's those people who have no system for managing their tasks or files and only use their calendar to see what meetings have been scheduled for them. These people are unconsciously allowing other people to dictate what they do each day, and they have no interest in building a personal productivity system. And of course, level 0 people will not be hearing articles like this. The beginner. Then there are the beginners. Beginners are learning to collect all their tasks into a task manager, and they collect everything. You'll find things like clean house, check I have my travel card, read a book, reply to Pete's email, etc. This is great because the first habit for anyone starting is to develop the habit of collecting everything. It is a learning process. Beginners need to develop the proper habits and techniques, so it is good that everything is collected at this stage. You will find beginners usually do a weekly planning session, but it is sporadic and often skipped. Processing their inbox is done fastidiously, and there's a lot of experimentation with tags and labels and project folders. The beginner needs to do this. It's a learning process, and testing and trying the many ways you can improve your time management and productivity will ultimately help you settle down on a system that works for you. The intermediate. Intermediates are people who are now testing every new productivity app there is on the market. And with each new app they try, they'll spend a whole day transferring their tasks from the original app to the new app, and then the rest of the week tweaking and playing around with the new features they have. This is also a good practice. Testing out these new apps while doing nothing for their productivity teaches them what features they find useful and which elements don't work. The intermediates will join forums or Facebook groups to find interesting new ideas to try out. And again, while this will do nothing to help them get their work done, it does help them see what works and what does not work. Rather interestingly, the intermediate stops doing a weekly planning session. They don't see its value. The only time they will do any planning session or weekly review is when their system breaks down, which will always happen when no weekly planning session is done. It usually takes around 3 to 4 years to graduate from this level, and that's when things become interesting. At this stage, people divide into 2 groups. The first group end up micromanaging everything in their task managers or calendar. Everything is meticulously collected into a system, most of which will be repeatedly rescheduled and the rest dumped into a project folder, never to see the light of day again. These people find themselves overwhelmed and frequently falling off the productivity wagon. Again, this is primarily a learning process. People soon discover that dumping everything into their task manager doesn't work, and they eventually find themselves at the next level. The enlightened ones. The enlightened ones finally discover that personal productivity is about eliminating the unimportant and only focusing on work that achieves their goals. You can tell who these people are because they only have a small number of tasks on their task list each day, usually around 4 to 5 tasks. They allow nobody except themselves to control what goes on their calendars, and they block a significant amount of time off for deep focused work each day, including weekends. The enlightened ones never miss their weekly planning sessions. It's a core part of their week. You'll find they complete these sessions either early Saturday or Sunday morning. They understand that to remain focused on the vital work and achieve their goals, they must make sure they are progressing towards them each week, and the only way to do that is to do their weekly planning sessions consistently. To reach this level of productivity requires you to know what is important to you, to understand what you want out of life, and to know why it is important to you. Without knowing that, you will become entangled in other people's projects, goals, and crises, You will find your task manager is full of other people's tasks with very few of your own. You can test this. How many of your tasks in your task manager benefit someone else? Look for tasks related to writing reports for your boss, responding to client or colleague emails. Now compare that to the number of tasks that directly drive your goals forward. If you are doing more tasks for other people and not enough tasks that directly contribute to your goals, you need to realign your priorities. The enlightened ones are focused on their purpose, goals, and in GTD speak, the higher level 30,000-foot tasks. The most productive people I know have not changed any of their productivity tools for years. David Allen, for instance, has used the same task manager for 20 years. Can you imagine how fast he is using his tools after 20 years of using the same tools? Jack Dorsey, Twitter CEO, has been using Apple Notes for all his productivity needs for at least 10 years. Simple, and it works beautifully for him. You can, of course, shortcut this process considerably if you understand that the purpose of becoming better at time management and more productive is never about being able to do more work in less time. That's a fool's goal and one you will never achieve. It's about eliminating as many less important and unnecessary tasks and only allowing meaningful, goal-accomplishing tasks on your task list. It takes time to learn this, and it helps if you know what is important, what your areas of focus are. Once you know what these are, you can make the necessary adjustments and start enhancing your life, achieving your goals, and being a lot less overwhelmed. You do not need elaborate tools to become enlightened. You need to know what is essential and a determination to eliminate anything that does not contribute towards your higher purpose. You do not need the latest, shiniest application to achieve that. You just listened to the post titled, The 4 Levels of Personal Productivity by Carl Pullein of Pullein.com. Thank you to Carl. His last name is spelled Pullein, and I have his website linked in this episode's description. Carl is a productivity and time management coach, if you couldn't figure it out, who has helped thousands of people around the world get better at managing their time and become more productive using technology they carry around with them every day. Come by his site for a lot more. Hopefully today's post was enlightening for you if you're not at the enlightened one stage yet. But that should do it for today. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.